Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Good morning, dear devotees. Thanks for joining. Today, we'll be covering the chapter 2 of the Living Name by His Holiness Sachidanand Swami Maharaj. So yesterday we summarized, or we went through the uh, chapter 1. It's talking about chanting in the yojana. So how do we align our body and mind and heart? So today we'll be reviewing the second chapter, Sambandha. So chanting in the devotional relationship. And the inner resolve for this chapter is, I belong to you. So we have to feel that we are part and parcel of Krishna. That is how, and also we need to understand that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So that is the only way we can build a relationship, and when we feel that we belong to Krishna, we can chant in the Sambandha. And here it starts with Sambandha, begins with general sense that we are a part and parcel of Krishna. And Prabhupada talked, there is example about chain around the neck. We are in the shackles of the chain, tied with the neck under the illusion of Maya. But and one way to think is, we are bound by an iron chain in our mind. So there is no physical chain. It's like it's a chain in the mind, but it can only be broken by Krishna, only with His mercy. So I think that's how we can come out of the shackles of chain in our inner mind. And also, it talks about how Haribhakta Vilasa in Srila Sanatana Goswami encourages us to practice on mantrartha chintana. So we have to meditate upon the meaning of the mantra. So when we chant, we read what is the meaning of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and there are different meanings in different ways. Acharyas has conveyed the meaning of mantra, but Srila Prabhupada made it simple for us just to pray. Like, my dear Radha and my dear Krishna, please engage me in your service. So that is where we can meditate on the mantra and understand the meaning of the mantra when we chant. And also, when we don't have a relationship, and when we are not connected, when we chant, it is like a chanting the shadow name, not a real name. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that we need to chant in the awareness of our relationship with Krishna. So if we don't do that, it's as it's like we are taking a shelter of Nama Basa, the shadow of the holy name, not a shadow or like shelter of the real holy name. It is something like licking the honey from the outside of the bottle and licking the honey in really taking from inside. So, and did we really lost the relationship? Relationship cannot be lost. I think we heard from the example, how Maharaj said, like, when uh, during the war, when family got separated and when they meet after a few years, and they can immediately connect. It doesn't take much time for them to connect and feel that they belong and it's still a family. So how what has been happened, we didn't lose the relationship, but we lost the conscious of it. So we are under the illusion of Maya. We always think that all these material aspects and all, but our ultimate relations, ultimate relation, our eternal relationship is, we are part and parcel of Krishna. So when we have that consciousness, when we meditate upon it, then we bring back our relationship. And what we need for relationship, or devotional relationship. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives three steps or three elements. But to have the devotional relationship, there should be a bhakta, the devotee. There should be a Bhagavan, the supreme Lord Krishna, and also the bhakti. Bhakti is the process of devotional service. So that is what we need, these three elements to have a devotional relationship manifest in us. And Srila Rupa Goswami, beautifully explained that love, bhakti makes Krishna dance, it makes the devotee dance, and it dances itself. So the three dance together. And and there are few steps, address the questions the Srila Bhakti, the Thakur recommends. How do we establish our relation to Krishna? How do we position our relationship to Krishna? We need to ask the three questions. First question is, who am I? And to whom do we relate, and where does this relationship takes place? So I think, to who Vuyamai, it means we are, we are the atomic part and parcel of the Krishna. Whom do we relate? We relate to Krishna, our eternal Father. And how does this relationship takes place? So we are in habit of space of this relationship. And Maharaj gave few examples. We can be alone when we chant, but also at the same time we are in the best company. So there are different places people chant. We heard about how Bhaktivinoda Thakura sitting in his garden and chanting loudly. Prabhupada asking us to chant like a crying baby for attention of the mother, and all these things explains that how do we bring awareness into our relationship. So we have to be in a common secluded place or in a designated place, but only company we have is in the association of Krishna, and in our mind, in our thinking, we have to meditate upon the Krishna. And and then, so it says that for the deep and permanent realizations, the results of the true transformation is we have to contemplate on Sandamba Jnana constantly. So it's not like it's a one day process or 1 week process. We always have to feel that we are part and parcel of Krishna, and we have to take a shelter, and we have to see that we have to uh, we have to understand that Krishna is the only one who can give us relief from this material life, in this bondage, in this iron shackles of mind. And then how do we bring the relationship? If we don't know the person, we cannot develop the relationship. That's where we need to have a knowledge of Krishna through the association, to reading the books, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. And also the more and more we hear about Namaruchi, Nama Prabhu, and Krishna's pastimes, we get the taste. That's when we can have more relation. So relationship is important. That is only happens to the by hearing. And one great example is Rukmini Devi. Rukmini Devi, just by hearing Krishna, she has a lot of attachment with Krishna, and she doesn't want to marry anyone other than Krishna. So that all happened just by hearing. So we should all take a shelter and get inspiration from Rukmini Devi, and to get her mercy as well, just by knowing Krishna, thinking about Krishna, hearing about Krishna, we can have that relationship. And then in the summary, what Sambandha Jnana is talking about is how do we uh, connect with Krishna by our thinking that we are part and parcel of Krishna, our eternal relationship, assuming Krishna is our eternal Father, and just taking shelter at his lotus feet. Um, that's how we can have a Sambandha Jnana. So the inner resolve for the Sambandha Jnana is I belong to you. So for the first chapter, it is like aligning our body, mind, and heart. For the second chapter, it's a, I belong to you. So there are three or four different exercises given in this chapter. One exercise is the first one, what Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentioned about how do we fix our mind and have the soul's connection with the Krishna. So one is like, have a sit properly, take a posture, nice posture, and breathe, do the breathing, focus on the breathing. And then when we are filled and centered, and in our mind, we should envision that I am the atomical particle of consciousness, and Krishna is Krishna's eternal servant, and Krishna is the infinite conscious entity, and is the only master. And the material world is full of miseries, and only way to reform is to connect with Krishna. And that is one way. And then is another way to chant. Another exercise talk about when we feel centered, we can focus or open our eyes, gently gaze at the deities, our favorite deities, and appreciate that you are Krishna's eternal servant, and turn to him in the prayer. And the one another exercise talk about when you are aligned, uh, just imagine that you are with Krishna, or you are alone with Radha and Krishna. So this is the exercise where we can say that we are in the Vrindavan, or we are in the we are in the banks of Yamuna, or those holy places. you, Imagine that you are there, and uh, be there in our consciousness, and then start chanting. So with that, I think we can go to the japa session.